1 second. Okay, great. Okay, so let me get started. I've lost my toolbar at the bottom. Where can I find that again? Okay, here we go. All right, welcome everyone. Again, my name is Caitlin Tallarico. It's nice to see you all here this evening. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you are new to our Thursday evening practice, thanks for joining us. One quick announcement before we get started. There is a prenatal pelvic floor workshop happening on Sunday, virtually, of course, Sunday at 12:30 p.m. You can find information about that on the Womb Room website, and that will be led by one of our other prenatal yoga instructors, as well as a pelvic floor physical therapist. So you can check that out. Again, that is Sunday at 12:30 p.m. And if you have any questions, we can chat after class about that. All right, so let's get started. As always, feel free to keep your video on or off and stay muted so that way my picture stays bigger on the screen for you. So let us start in a comfortable seat. I'm gonna use my bolster, but maybe if you have a cushion or a pillow or a blanket folded up, it could be a little bit more comfortable than just sitting right on the ground. Or even stacking blocks to come into hero's pose, this kneeling pose, but you can kind of sit back. So finding your comfortable seat to get started. So if you are coming into an easy seat like so, just checking the alignment of your feet. I like to line up my heels with one another and my pubic bone. Instead of crossing all the way, that can be a little uncomfortable. And we'll switch which ankle is in front about halfway through. So wherever you are, whether you're in hero's pose or easy seat, start to ground down through the sitting bones and anywhere that is making contact with the earth beneath you. And gently blink the eyes closed or bring the eyes to a soft gaze, focusing somewhere other than the computer screen. Start to align your spine with the earth-sky axis, sitting up nice and tall, giving space in the side body and the front body to breathe deeply. Let's just start to check in with the body as we arrive here this evening, starting with the muscles in the face, noticing anywhere that you can soften. The brow, the muscles in the forehead, around the eyelid, unclenching the jaw. Allowing the shoulders to come away from the ears. And start to give baby a gentle hug with the abdominal muscles. So sitting up nice and tall and then just kind of hugging in, Giving a little support there. And it may be comfortable here to kind of roll forward a little bit in the pelvic bowl. And start to deepen the breath. Breathing in through the nostrils. And breathing out through the nostrils. Starting to make the breath audible. Cultivating that wave-like, ocean-like sound of the breath. As you gently constrict the back of the throat and allow the breath to pass the back of the throat as you breathe in and out through the nose. This breath mimics the sound of what baby hears day in and day out, the gentle hum of the body, the internal organs, the pulse, the life force of your body. And as we continue to breathe deeply here, start to set an intention for your practice this evening, or maybe an intention for your pregnancy, labor, birth, parenthood. Simple word or I am statement is great here. On the next inhale, really fill up the belly with air here and start to relax the pelvic floor. Bring your attention to the pelvic floor. If you're sitting on something, you can really feel that proprioception as you relax the pelvic floor against the bolster or the floor beneath you. And then as you exhale, hug around baby and activate the pelvic floor, engage the pelvic floor, hugging in and up. Inhale, relax the pelvic floor, fill the belly up with air. And exhale, hug around baby, pelvic floor in and up. Do that 2 more times at the pace of your own breath. Continuing to relax the jaw, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. As you engage one part of the body, not forgetting about softening the others. All right, if your eyes are closed, gently blink them open. We're going to start to kind of roll the neck, get some movement in the neck and shoulders. If you are sitting in easy seat, like I am, just switch the foot that is in front. Maybe adjusting your seat, rolling forward a bit more in the pelvic bowl. All right, hands can just come to the top of the legs, nice and relaxed, no effort there. And taking a deep breath in, looking up towards the ceiling, opening up the throat. Exhale, chin to chest, keeping the spine nice and long. Just isolating the neck and head here. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, up, 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 up. Exhale, chin to chest. Keep moving with the breath here, just like that. And do one more. We'll meet with chin to chest. And on the next inhale, gently roll the right ear to the right shoulder, the right shoulder as you inhale. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, chin to chest. Keep moving just like that as you inhale, bringing the ear towards the shoulder. And as you exhale, chin to the chest. Relaxing the jaw. Maybe your eyes gently close naturally again as you move through these head rolls, starting to awaken the side of the neck, starting to release any tension from the day, as we tend to hold a lot of tension and stress in the neck, in the jaw. Maybe opening the mouth here as you breathe. Noticing how the sensations may feel different as you open or close the jaw. Let's do two more on each side. We'll meet with chin to chest. And gently roll up, finding that neutral spine here. And we're going to come into our tabletop position, hands and knees. So just swing both legs behind you. And come into all fours. Lots of options here for support. If you're experiencing any acid reflux or nausea, you may want to prop the hands up on blocks, or if you're having any wrist discomfort, keeping the chest elevated here, wrist support. Maybe a blanket, a rolled up blanket or towel under the wrist or the knees, especially, can feel really nice as our joints can start to feel a little bit achy, especially third trimester mamas. Wherever you are, stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees, spreading fingertips nice and wide. I'm going to press the tops of the feet into the mat here, nice and active, and hug around baby. Pressing the hands into the mat so the shoulders are nice and stable. So not sinking into the shoulders here, but really pressing away. All right, we're going to move through our cat and cow tilt. So as we move through, we want to keep a gentle hug around baby. So as we inhale and coming into the cow tilt, when we lift hips, heart, and gaze, not going too far. And you'll know, especially if you're feeling any ground ligament pain, you want to kind of keep some control here. So inhale, lifting hips, heart, and gaze, looking forward, opening the chest. And then exhale, curve the spine, bring chin to chest, cat tilt. Inhale, cow tilt, filling up the front body. Exhale, cat tilt. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And really initiating the movement here from the pelvis and creating that wave-like shape with the spine as you roll through each tilt, continuing to move with your own breath as you inhale, cow tilt. And as you exhale, cat tilt. All right. Doing one more each way. Inhale, cow tilt. Exhale, cat tilt. Hug around baby. All right, and let's start to do some hip circles here. So as you inhale this time, bringing the right ear towards the right hip and hip to right ear as you circle around. Exhale, cat tilt. Inhale, like you're painting a circle with the hips and the tip of your nose, almost like it has a paintbrush on the tip of your nose, painting a circle in front of you. Inhale, opening the chest, hips and heart lift. And as you exhale, curving the spine, tailbone tucks, chin to chest. One more circle this way. And then opposite direction. So going towards the left. Moving with the breath here, feeling some relief from any low back and hip pain, pelvis pain that you may be experiencing. This is great for when we move with the breath here and hug around baby to keep the core engaged and the core nice and strong. One more this way. And then meet back with a neutral spine tabletop. Hugging around baby, engaging the core. And on your next inhale, extending your right foot to the back of the mat, tucking the toes under. You can stay here or maybe gently rock back and forth. Maybe hear some cracks and pops in the ankle. Continuing to press the floor away from you and spreading fingertips nice and wide. The crown of the head reaches forward. So the spine is nice and long. Your gaze is maybe a foot ahead of the hands. All right, come to stillness. We're gonna ground into the left hand and then open up to the right long edge of the mat, right arm overhead, right foot extended out. Couple of options here. So you can keep the arm extended overhead or maybe bring it to the hip or bringing right arm to right ear. Keeping foot grounded here or gently lifting. All right, so choosing your option wherever you are, think about opening up in the hip flexors, the front of the hips. You want to kind of push baby forward here, keeping the core engaged, but we don't want to kind of pike the hips back. Really think about opening and lengthening the front of the hips here. And you may, if your arm is towards the ear, feeling that long stretch in the right side of the body. One more breath here. All right, start to lift the chest. So pressing the left hand away from the mat. You can flex the foot. And we're going to come into our gate pose. So now extending the right hand down the length of the right leg. And then left arm comes overhead. Gaze can be up, out, or down. And starting to feel a nice stretch on the left side of the body. Again, continuing to press the hips forward, press baby forward here. Finding length in that left hip flexor. Continuing to breathe here. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. One more breath. Good. Start to lift the chest And then bring the right leg to a kickstand. So bending the knee, coming to a 90-degree angle here. We're going to come into baby side angle. So taking the right forearm to the right thigh, staying here, or extending the right arm down the front or the inside of the right leg. And you can bring that left hand to your sacrum, that low back, and kind of press the sacrum into the hand, and hand into sacrum. And then extend that left arm overhead. Again, gaze can be up, out, or down here. And maybe the hand is to a block. So maybe you have a block on the inside of that right foot to kind of raise the earth a little bit. Maybe try relaxing the right ear towards the right shoulder. Coming into a nice little neck release here. Hand can stay up, or maybe you want to feel a little bit deeper of a stretch in the left side of the neck. Bring the left arm behind the back for a nice half bind. Continuing to press the bottom of the right foot into the mat, keeping stability here, not sinking too far into the pelvis. One more breath. Good. Unravel the arms and just cartwheel the arms to the front of the mat. Coming back into tabletop. Taking a moment to wag the tail side to side, or maybe taking a cat-cow if that feels appropriate for you. And then we're going to go into the other side. So on the next inhale, whenever you're ready, extending the left foot to the back of the mat, toes tucked under. Staying here or gently rocking back and forth. Again, maybe starting to awaken the ankle joint. Maybe hearing some pops and cracks. Continuing to hug around baby here. Pressing hands into the mat, keeping the shoulders stable. And then come to stillness. And we're going to open up to the left long side of the mat. So right hand stays grounded, left arm overhead. And same options as the other side. So arm can come head to the hip, or bringing left arm to left ear, finding that length in the side body. And then foot can stay grounded or hug around baby and lift. Listening in to what your body and your baby need in this moment. Continuing to press the hips forward here, finding length in the hip flexors. One more breath. Good, and then to press the right hand into the mat and lift the chest. And we're going to come into that gate pose, so flexing the left toes towards the ceiling. And then start to extend the left arm down the length of the left leg. And extending the right arm overhead. Again, gaze can be up, out, or down. And really pressing the hips forward, finding length in that right hip flexor. Continuing to breathe here. Finding all that good space in the side body. Relaxing the jaw. One more breath. Great. Start to come back up. We're going to bend that left knee for that baby side angle posture. Making that 90-degree angle option to stay lifted. So left forearm to the left thigh. Or make your way down towards the floor left arm and at the left, at the inside of the left leg. Or you can bring the hand to a block. Right arm can come overhead, or if you liked that neck release on the other side, maybe bringing the right arm behind the back for neck release, dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. If the arm is extended down towards the earth, press that arm into leg and leg into arm so you can open up towards the sky. Relaxing the jaw, breathing deeply here. One more breath. And start to unravel the arms, cartwheel the hands towards the front of the mat. Again, coming into tabletop, taking a moment to wag your tail, take a cat and cow, maybe hip circle. And whenever you're ready, you can meet in child's pose. So spreading knees to the width of the mat and feet stay together, sitting back onto the heels. Couple of options here for child's pose. So maybe bringing a rolled up towel or blanket underneath the hips. If you're feeling a little tight and you're not able to sit all the way back. Option to put a block under the breastbone or under the forehead, or maybe lying down on a bolster or pillow. Or maybe stacked hands under the forehead. Or maybe you really want to get into the shoulders and the upper arms and just bringing the chest all the way down to the mat still feels good to you. You can tent up on the fingertips to really get into the shoulders there. Lots of options. Wherever you are, sinking into stillness in this posture. Breathing deeply, feeling the pelvic floor relax, feeling the belly relax here. One more breath. And start to rise up, so bringing the hands back to the mat, coming into tabletop, and then we're going to lift into downward facing dog. So same options as table. You can bring the blocks under the hands to stay a little bit more lifted. Knees can stay as bent as you need, maybe spreading the feet out a bit wider at the hips width. Fingertips are spread out nice and wide and clawing into the mat here. And really untuck that tailbone. So we don't want to see a lot of rounding in the low back. Really untuck the tailbone as if a string was tied to the end of your tailbone, lifting you up towards the ceiling. Taking a moment maybe to pedal out the heels. One more breath. And then start to walk the hands towards the feet for forward fold. Lots of options for forward fold as baby takes up more space in the front body. You may want to keep the hands forward in downward facing dog arms. So not coming all the way to the hands, all the way to the feet. Maybe even lifting up on the tallest setting of the blocks. And this can be great too if you're experiencing nausea or heartburn. Feet can be as wide as the mat, as wide as you need to make space for baby. Knees can be bent and continuing to untuck the tailbone. If it feels good to drop the head and shake the head yes and no, maybe doing that, or maybe grabbing opposite elbows if balance allows. So finding your fit here. Your forward fold is ever changing during pregnancy, week to week, day to day. One more breath here. Good, on the next inhale, bring hands to the shins or thighs for halfway lift. Exhale, hands to hips, hug in a round baby. Inhale, start to lift the chest, rise up. And exhale, firm the thighs, anchor the tailbone down, hug around baby. Inhale, circle the arms. And as you exhale, bringing hands down the midline and bringing the hands to your baby space, taking 3 breaths here. As you inhale, filling up the belly, relaxing the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, hug around baby, engage the pelvic floor. Taking this time to connect with baby, return to your intention. Good, if the eyes are closed, blink them open. Bringing the hands to a W shape, so hooking the thumbs together with the rest of the fingers facing up. As you inhale, extend the arms overhead, and then exhale, side bend to the right. So keeping the feet grounded evenly, we want to feel a nice stretch on the left side of the body from underarm to hip crease. Almost like you're pulling that left thumb towards the right side of your environment, your space that you're in. One more breath. And then come back to center, release the thumbs, and switch your grip. So opposite thumb on top. Inhale, extend the arms up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, side bend to the left. Again, keeping the feet grounded. If you're noticing that your right heel is starting to come up, then maybe step back a little bit with your side bend. Each exhale, maybe sinking just a little bit deeper. One more breath. And then coming back to center, releasing the hand, shaking out the wrist. And then spreading the feet to the width of the mat, turning toes out. We're gonna come into our Malasana, yogi squat. So if you're experiencing any pelvic girdle pain or pubic symphysis pain, you may want to stay up and lifted in modified Malasana, which I'll show, or if that's not bothersome to you at this moment, you can go into full Malasana, but maybe having a block nearby for support underneath the sitting bones. So as you inhale, circle your arms, extending your arms overhead, and then exhale, hands through heart center, staying up here for modified Malasana, or coming all the way down, full Malasana, elbows make contact with the inside of the legs. Option here, bring a block or bolster underneath the sitting bones for supported Malasana. This is a great position for laboring as it opens the pelvic outlet, relaxes the pelvic floor. Thumbs come into the chest, and chest lifts to meet the thumbs, so we open up the heart. Outside edges of the feet seal with the mat or the ground. One more breath here. then start to walk the hands out, finding your way back into downward facing dog. As always, it's nice to have blocks nearby. So maybe walking them up to the top of your mat. I'm gonna grab my water. Always important to listen to your body, and if you need to, at any time, take a moment to pause or drink your water, please do so. Part of yoga is listening to what your body needs in each moment. All right, from here on the next inhale, start to shift your gaze to the hands, bringing right thumb to meet left thumb, and then walking the right foot to the outside of the right hand, taking as many steps as you need to get there. We're gonna come into warrior one. So from here, plant the back foot, 45-degree angle, and then start to walk the hands up the thigh, and then coming into your warrior one with arms extended overhead. Again, taking as many steps as you need to get there. And when you arrive, notice the outside edge of the back foot is sealed to the mat. Right hip creases back, left hip creases forward, shoulders melt away from the ears. Relaxing the muscles in the face. Feeling the strength in your legs, supporting your torso in this posture, hugging around baby here. And on the next inhale, start to bring your arms to cactus arms or goalpost arms, 90-degree angle, and come into a small back bend, keeping eyes open. Feeling the heart and the chest open up, breathing deeply here. Keeping the bend in the front knee. Good, start to come up. And then grab up, interlace your fingers behind you or grab opposite elbows, whatever is accessible for you. If neither of those are, maybe grabbing a scarf or a strap and just grabbing them behind your back. Wherever you are, we want to open up the chest here with the arms behind us, and then start to come forward, fold forward, humble warrior. Baby can come to the inside of the right leg, continuing to press the feet into the mat, keeping that stable foundation. Staying here, or if balance allows, maybe looking towards the back foot, folding a little bit deeper. Continuing to keep the chest open, even as we fold forward. I'm gonna wrinkle up the skin between the shoulder blades here. One more breath. Good, start to bring the hands down to the mat. If you have blocks, maybe bring them with you. I'm gonna walk mine over to the left long edge of the mat. So bringing, coming into wide angle here. Our feet are spread wide. We're facing the long edge of the mat to the left. Knees can be bent or straight. Arms can be out, like in downward facing dog arms, or right underneath of you. To blocks or to the mat. Taking some time here, maybe shaking the head yes and no, maybe moving the hips side to side or walking hands to each foot. Taking some time to explore here. Or just staying still and keeping arms grounded or hands grounded, excuse me. All right, wherever you are, coming back to center. And then if you have blocks, walking one block in towards the mat, so your shoulders are stacked right over top of your wrist here. So not out far, but just right over top. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can bring the hands down to the mat or stack up something else if you need to be a little bit lifted. We're going to take some time to swim the arms here. So as you inhale, extending the right arm overhead, opening up towards the right, and then exhale, swim the arm forward, bringing it back to the block. Now the other side, inhale, left arm overhead, twisting to the left, and exhale, swim the arm forward, bringing it back to the block. We're going to move with your own breath. Keep that motion of swimming arms. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep moving with your own breath. One more on each side. Good. And then once you've done that, just meeting in the middle, walking the hands up the thighs, bringing hands to hips and halfway lift. I like to bend my knees here. You get a nice deep bend. And then start to straighten the legs, coming up to stand. Nice. All right, we're gonna turn the toes out to the side, keeping that wide stance. We're gonna come into our goddess squat. So you can bring the hands to the thighs, thumbs forward, maybe even spreading the feet a little bit wider, making those 90-degree angles with the knee. Feeling a little traction here as you press the hands into the thighs. You can feel some opening in the low back and the sacrum. Swaying side to side if that feels good. And then start to lift the chest, bringing the hands up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands down. We're going to do a couple of lion's breaths. Inhale. Exhale, tongue out, side out through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Straighten the legs, feeling the fire in the legs a little bit, maybe shaking the hips side to side. We're going to come into our triangle pose. Again, if you have a block nearby, I recommend bringing it to that front foot, the right foot. And we're going to point the right toes forward to the front of the mat and left toes towards the long edge of the mat. All right. Coming into our triangle pose, start to reach the right hand forward, tipping over like you're pouring tea from a pot and reaching for that block. I know I love the block during pregnancy. Just kind of lift the floor. And then bring that left hand to the sacrum, pressing the sacrum into the hand and kind of turning the left hip forward. So we don't want to stay stacked here. We really want to offset the hips so as not to squeeze ourselves in between two panes of glass, but really bring them offset here. Feels much better. It's more stable for the pelvis. And then once you've done that, you can maybe extend that left arm overhead. Continuing to press the feet into the mat, keeping Nice strong legs here to support the pelvis and the upper body. Breathing deeply here. One more breath. If you're not already, look down at that right hand. I'm gonna bring my left hand to my hip, and we're gonna walk the right hand forward to come into half moon. So bring the block or the hand about 2 feet in front of the front foot, and then start to shift your weight into that right leg, lifting the left half moon. This can be great up against a wall, especially third trimester moms for balance. Can just bring the hips and the shoulder up against a wall. You can keep that left hand to the hip or extend the arm overhead, looking down at the right hand for balance, or maybe if you're feeling up to it, start to look up towards the left hand. Wherever you are, continue to breathe, really grounding into that supportive right leg. One more breath. All right, good. Find a small bend in that standing leg. We're gonna come out to warrior two. So finding that wide stance, dropping the left foot back to the mat. Yeah. Inhale, reverse your warrior, back arm to the back leg, right arm overhead. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the hands to the inside of that right foot, turning the back foot in, dropping into tabletop. Inhale, cow tilt. Exhale, cat tilt. Inhale, neutral spine. And exhale, knees wide, child's pose. Forehead can come to stacked hands or blocks. Maybe a bolster underneath the torso. One more breath here. And then start to rise up, coming back to your tabletop position, and then tucking toes under, finding downward facing dog, hug around baby. Untucking the tailbone here, lifting the tailbone up towards the sky, spreading fingertips nice and wide. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Start to shift your gaze to your hands, other side. Bring your left thumb to meet your right thumb, and then walk your left foot forward to the outside of the left hand, taking as many steps as you need. And we're gonna rise up to warrior one. So back foot rounds down at a 45-degree angle, walking the hands up to the thigh, and then extending overhead. Hugging around baby here, right hip crease forward, left hip crease back, shoulders melt away from the ears. And on the next inhale, bringing arms into cactus arms, back bend here. Keeping eyes open, looking up at the ceiling, looking up at the sky, keeping a bend in the front knee. Feeling the openness in the chest and the heart. And then coming back up, lifting the chest, grabbing opposite elbows or interlacing fingers behind you. Bending in that front knee, and then start to melt forward. Fold the front body forward, humble warrior. Continuing to scrunch up the space in between your shoulder blades so you can open up your heart space. And if balance allows, maybe shifting your gaze to the back foot, dropping the head just a little bit more. Feeling the strength in your legs as they support you, holding you up. One more breath here. Good. If you have your blocks nearby, grabbing them as you walk your hands to the right edge, the right long edge of your mat, coming into wide angle forward bend, that wide stance. Toes are facing the long edge of the mat. And coming into your variation, so maybe that means hands are in downward facing dog arms, coming forward. Maybe they're right underneath of you. Maybe you're walking hands to opposite feet, or to the right foot and the left foot. Taking your time to explore here. Listening in, what does your body, your baby need in this moment? Maybe bending the knees, sinking down a little bit more, and continuing to untuck the tailbone here. Letting the chest and baby fold you forward and lead you forward instead of rounding from the low back. Good. Wherever you are, start to bring the wrists underneath the shoulders, maybe to blocks or maybe to the mat or ground. And we're going to go ahead and do our swimming arms. So as you inhale, extend the right hand overhead, open up to the right side. And exhale, swim the arm forward, bring back to the mat or block. Inhale, left arm. Circling it up and around. As you exhale, coming back to the block. Moving with your breath. Inhale, arm extends. And exhale, arm comes forward. Moving with the pace of your own breath. One more on each side. And then once you've done those, bringing the hands to the hips, halfway lift, bringing a nice bend to the knees, and then coming all the way up to stand, straighten the knees. I'm gonna turn to face y'all. And coming into our goddess squat, so turning the 10 toes out to the side, maybe widening the stance a little bit, bending the knees, bringing hands to the top of the thighs. Taking a moment to feel the traction here as you press arms into thighs, extending and lengthening the spine. Good, lift the chest, hands come up, lion's breath. Inhale, arms extend overhead. Exhale, hands in, tongue out. 3 more like that. Inhale. Sigh it out. Inhale. Good. Straighten the knees. And we're going to come into our triangle on the left. So again, block if you have it, bringing it to the outside edge of the left foot. And so left toes are going to face the front of your mat, right toes face the side. And start to hinge at the hips here as you tilt to the side, bringing hands to the mat or a block at any height, short or tall. And then bringing the right hand to the sacrum. And again, we want to press the sacrum into the hand as the right hip comes forward a bit. Kind of turns a little bit. That way, we're not stacked to the side. It's really hard to hinge like that. Our hips aren't really meant to do that. We gotta offset a little bit. All right, and then you can extend that right hand overhead if you choose. Continue to ground down through the bottoms of the feet as you support the pelvis. Finding strength here. One more breath. And if you have that block under your hand, pick it up and move it with you about 2 feet in front of the left foot, coming into half moon. So shifting the weight to the left leg, lifting the right, sending energy through that right heel towards the back of your mat. Gazing down at the left hand for balance, or maybe extending the right arm overhead and shifting the gaze upward. Again, this is a great posture to do at the wall, especially third trimester mamas, helping with some of that balance. It just feels nice to feel supported, not just from the earth beneath you, but from all around you. Using the support of the wall is a great tool. One more breath here. Good, start to bend the standing leg, and then we're gonna come into warrior two. So coming to that wide stance as you drop the right foot, and then on your next inhale, reverse your warrior, right hand down the right leg, left arm overhead. Good, and then cartwheel the arms towards the front of the mat, coming back down into your tabletop. Taking a moment to wag the tail here. Good. We're going to come into our pigeon postures next. So I'm going to grab my bolster and my blanket to have close by. Again, all of these props are optional, but they can feel great for support. Maybe a block is helpful, a pillow to place under the hip. Having them close by for support is always helpful. All right, so I'm going to come into my pigeon from downward facing dog. You can get there from your tabletop as well, just bringing the right shin forward. I just need a little bit more space to bring my leg forward. So coming up to downward facing dog if you choose, and then start to bring the right knee towards the right hand. And taking some time here to get yourself set up. So I still have my back toes tucked, so I can really bring that left hip crease forward as much as I can. And then just releasing the top of the foot down, looking back, making sure it's not turned out or in. Kind of a nice straight long line down the length of the leg. Then I like to bring a rolled up blanket under the right hip, maybe a block is good there for you. And then you can stay lifted here if this feels good, or start to fold forward. So folding forward on a bolster or pillow, placing your blocks in a T shape. So long block underneath the chest, short block underneath the forehead. Wherever you are, coming into stillness here. If pigeon ever feels at all uncomfortable, you can always come into a figure four stretch, a supine figure four, with just bringing the ankle to the top of the thigh, lying on your back. Or you can skip it altogether if it's not feeling great for you. Sometimes pigeon can feel really lovely, or it can feel really uncomfortable. So listening in to what your body needs. We'll take one more breath here. And then if you are folded forward, start to lift the chest. And we're going to open up towards the left side of the mat. So keeping that right knee bent, left leg extended. We're just going to come into a gentle twist here. So bringing the right hand to the right knee, and then start to twist towards the left leg. So a nice open twist here. Maybe looking at the back of your mat, or if it feels accessible to you, looking behind you over the left shoulder. One more breath. Good, start to unravel here. And then we're going to come back to the front of the mat into tabletop or downward facing dog to get set up for pigeon on the left. So switching props if you need to, switching sides of the mat with your props. And again, coming into tabletop or downward facing dog, this time left leg is going to come forward, bending the left knee, bringing the left shin forward, keeping that the back toes tucked under as you shift the right hip crease forward as much as you can. And then bring the top of the foot down to the mat, bringing a block or a blanket underneath that left hip to close the gap, if there is one, between the hip and the floor. Feeling the support there. And then staying lifted or folding forward to stacked hands, to blocks, to a pillow, bolster, cushion. And starting to feel the downshift as we wind down our practice. Taking the time here to maybe close the eyes and return back to the intention that you set in the beginning of practice. Maybe taking this time to connect with baby. Because so often when we come into stillness, baby starts to make its presence known and maybe feeling flutters or movement. Taking one more breath here. And then start to lift the chest. And then we're going to open up to the right long side of the mat. Keeping the right leg extended. I'll turn to face you all. Right leg extended, left knee bent in. And we're going to open twist towards that right foot. So taking the left hand down in front of you and start to open up towards that extended leg. Maybe even gripping onto the mat here can feel good. So wrapping the fingers around the mat. Maybe looking towards the back of the mat or looking over the shoulder, the right shoulder. One more breath here. And start to unravel, coming back to face forward or untwist. And we're going to come down to our backs. During pregnancy, it's always best to come down to the side of our bodies and then roll to the back so as to keep the core, keeping the integrity of the core, so as not to really jut out the abdominal muscles. Good. And so I should have said grab a block. No worries if you didn't, or if it's not close by. But if you do have a block close by, just placing it in between the thighs here. You're going to bring the feet in about hips width distance, close to the hips, the sitting bones. And we're going to come up into a bridge pose before we get into our final resting pose. So start to lift the hips, press the feet into the mat. And if you do have a block in between the thighs, squeeze around the block. Adduction, adduction. Continue pressing the feet into the earth so you can lift the hips up, 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 up. Feeling strength here. And there's always an option to come into supported bridge, so bringing another block underneath the sacrum. Finding length in the spine, noticing if there's any tension or kind of tensing up of the shoulders, just allowing the shoulders to relax, neck down. And then start to roll down, bringing the hips down to the mat. And we're going to come into final relaxation, Shavasana. So lots of options here for rest. Left side lying, getting set up with pillows, blankets, blocks in between knees. You can come into legs up the wall, so bringing the hips towards the wall with a block underneath the sacrum. And the back of the legs would kind of rest up against the wall there. Nice and supportive, especially if you're feeling any swelling in the ankles. Or coming into a reclined Shavasana. This one requires a bit more props, but if you have, some thick cushions or a bolster, kind of propping up so you make a little ramp. And then coming to the side and lying on the back and maybe coming into Baddha Konasana, feet, soles of the feet together, knees spread apart, with blocks under the knees, or maybe bringing knees together for constructive rest. And so the beauty of practicing yoga at home is you can stay in this final relaxation for as long as you choose. So if you want to log off and just hunker down, hunker in, and get settled for a while, feel free to do so. We'll stay here for about 2 to 3 minutes before we close practice together. So again, if you want a longer rest, maybe taking the opportunity to mute or log off so you can rest as long as you choose. And so wherever you are, settle into stillness here. Allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. No effort or control. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you, wherever your body makes contact with the earth. Allowing yourself to get heavy. Sinking in. So at the end of each practice, I like to pull a card from the Goddess Wisdom deck. And tonight's card is Diana, the Roman moon goddess, who carries the silver bow and arrow given to her in childhood by her father Jupiter. Diana is associated with healthy childbirth, loves to spend time out in nature, I'm particularly fond of oak trees and watching over wild animals. A message from Diana. Tenacity means sticking to a decision and not allowing outside forces to sway you. Imagine yourself to be like a mighty oak tree with your roots deeply planted into Mother Earth. Feel your solid strength and steady upward growth. Know that no matter what happens, you will succeed. Your branches may twist and turn as you flex toward the light, yet your unwavering intentions will ensure that no faint wind will sway you from your mission. Be in charge of your body, your schedule, and your mind, and keep them focused upon your target. So start to bring your awareness back into your body as you wiggle fingers and toes, reintroducing small movements, and then taking your time, if you're not already on the left side of your body, rolling to the left side, pausing for a breath or two, and then meeting in a comfortable seated position. As you arrive in your comfortable seat, maybe bringing hands to your baby space, or one hand to baby, one hand to heart, and taking a moment to close out our practice in gratitude. Gratitude for this day, gratitude for your body and all of the incredible work it's doing to nourish yourself and baby. gratitude for one another, for holding this virtual space. And I extend my gratitude to you all for trusting me to guide you in your practice this evening. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to your third eye center, bowing forward. Keep peace in your mind, strength in your body, and love in your heart. Until next time, be well, and I hope to see you soon. All right, thank you all. Stop recording.
Thank you.